In 1947, India underwent partition along religious lines. The partition of India in 1947 resulted in the creation of Pakistan. In 1971, Pakistan itself split, giving rise to the formation of Bangladesh. The primary cause of the partition of India was religious tension, as Muslims believed that Hindus held the majority and dominated the political landscape. They feared that in a democratic system, their representation in the government would be minimal, leaving them subjugated under Hindu dominance. Now, after 77 years since partition, the regional population has increased significantly, and the proportion of the population based on religion has also changed. It raises the question, what if there were elections in United India? Could Muslims have formed their government if there hadn't been a partition in 1947? Would it have been possible for extremist Hindu parties like the BJP to establish their dominance in a united India? Since 1947, the populations of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh have increased over 4 times. Compared to 1947, the overall proportion of Muslims in these countries has risen from 24% to 32% now. Before exploring the impact of this population growth on United India's elections, let's delve into the Indian electoral system. The Indian elections are the biggest in the world, with 987 million registered voters tasked with electing 543 members to the Legislative Assembly called Lok Sabha. It requires securing 50% of the seats, which is equivalent to 272 seats, to gain a majority and form a government. If we include Pakistan's 12.8 million and Bangladesh's 12 million voters, the total registered number of voters in a united India would be 1.23 billion. In India, the proportion of the Muslim population is 14.2%. In Pakistan, it's 96.5%, and in Bangladesh, it's 91%. If we apply the same proportions of the population to the total registered voters of these 3 countries, the total number of Muslim voters would be 370 million, Hindus would be 800 million, and the rest would be 60 million. In United India, out of a total of 1.23 billion voters, Muslims constitute 30%, Hindus constitute 65%, and the rest, 5%, belong to other religious groups. Now, let's examine this in the context of Legislative Assembly seats. The Indian Legislative Assembly has a total of 543 seats, and the registered number of voters is 987 million. It implies that, on average, each constituency has around 1.8 million registered voters. In this scenario, if we add the voters of Pakistan and Bangladesh, the number of seats in the Indian Legislative Assembly would need to be increased by 137 seats to accommodate the larger voter base. The Indian Assembly would consist of a total of 680 seats, with 205 allocated for Muslims, 441 for Hindus, and the remaining 34 for other religions. Securing a majority of 340 seats would most likely be achieved by candidates supported by Hindus. The increasing number of Muslim voters in United India would not significantly reduce the influence of Hindu voters. In a united India, it would have been exceedingly challenging for any party to form a government independently. The BJP, having secured 303 seats in the 2019 election, would still require allies to reach the 340-plus seats needed to form a government.